continuing on with where we left off, I said I had another problem for you, and it's right here. So we're going to take a look at how to do these. These are similar to things we did last week, but we're putting it on the same one, and I want you to be able to take a look at it. So the trickiest part with this is how it's written up at the top oftentimes confuses people. So let's go through it and make sure we understand what it means. So when we look up here, it says complete the table for the given rules, then construct lines L and M on the coordinate plane. Okay, so we've got to complete this. We know the rule. Y is 5 more than X. Okay, so Y is 5 more than X. So whatever X is, I'm going to add 5 to it, and that will tell me what Y is. Because Y is 5 more than X. So to make those equal, I'd have to add the 5 onto X for them to be equal. All right? So another way of doing that and writing it out, I could have done it the normal direction that you're used to. Y is 5 more than X, 5 more than X. So I need to add on that 5 to make them equal. So filling out the grid, that's fairly easy. 0 plus 5 is 5, 6, 7, and that'd be 9. Hopefully you took your time there and noticed this wasn't 3. Now writing the ordered pairs. Okay, so I have 0, 5, I have 1, 6, I have 2, 7, and then I've got 4, 9. Now I could go through and I could graph my first one. So 0 over and 5 up, okay, 1 over and 6 up, 2 over and 7 up, and 4 over and 9 up. Then I connect them together, and there's my first line right there. All right, now my next line, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to switch colors to make it a little easier for you to see. Now this one says Y is 5 times as much as X. So Y is 5 times as much as X. So for them to be equal, I'd have to do 5 times X. That's written like this because remember we've talked about that. When you put two things next to each other without a mathematical symbol, it's assumed that you're multiplying. So 5X. So I'm going to do 5 times X. That is what Y is. So if X is 0, then Y is 0 because 5 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And 4 times 5 is 20. Then I can write the ordered pairs for each of these. And I could have done it as I was going along, but I like to finish my pattern first while it's fresh in my brain so I don't have to stop and rethink, wait a second, what was the pattern? I get all those numbers because it's easy to write these down. All right, now graphing this. So I'm going to graph this one. I notice I already made one mistake. On this last one, when I built that, I should have labeled it and said that this is line L. Okay, when you're putting two graphs on one chart like this, you probably need to make sure it's labeled. So let's see, I've got 0, 0. Okay, then I have 5. Oh, sorry, I have 1, 5. That went up quick. Then I have 2, 10. That went up really quick. And then I have 4, 20, way up here. So connecting those together, it's going to look something like that. All right. So now I have my 2 done, except that I didn't label this one again, M. All right, so there's my 2 lines that I've drawn from these. So when I look at this, now I can ask a whole bunch of questions, or whoever wrote this could ask a whole bunch of questions. I could ask you to just do something simple like compare the lines, and I would say that line M has a much bigger slope because look at how fast it's going up and down, okay? That's what slope is. That's how fast something moves up and down, okay? Or I could say L has a lower slope because it goes up slower. I could compare where they are at different spots, or I could ask you questions like, all right, well, on line L and line M, if you compare where they both are when the X coordinate is 1, which one is higher? Well, 1 is here, so the L would be higher because it's up here at 6 and the red one's only at 5. So you could ask a whole bunch of different questions, which is why we have those here. But the biggest thing I'd want to point out is just noticing this first one, the adding rule of 5, notice how it follows the same exact pattern all the rest do. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. That's what happens on all of our addition and subtraction patterns. They all have the same slope. The only time we ever change the slope, meaning how fast it goes up or how fast it comes down, is when we're multiplying that number by something. The multiplication changes it. Because if you think about what's happening, every time I go over 1x, I'm multiplying it by 5, so I'm getting 5 up. Go over 1, go up 5. Go over 1, go up 5. So, of course, it goes up much faster than the other one, okay? Because that's what multiplication has us do. So, I want you to try these out today. Take your time with it. Really think about our questions that you see on there. Because there will be questions on a lot of these, and you need to just take your time. This work, like I've said many times, isn't overly hard, but if you try and rush it and don't finish your tables, it becomes very difficult, especially for all my people who very stubbornly are going to try and do this all in their head. So take your time with it. It shouldn't be overly hard. And then once you're done, move on and get your exit ticket done. If you notice that you're getting a lot wrong, then please stop off at office hours. All right. I hope that helps you today.